Hello, this is World University and Schools Hangout on Air on Monday, November 5th, 2018. And I'm Scott McLeod. Info at worlduniversityandschool.org. If you have ideas, thoughts, questions, we're waiting for people to potentially join this Hangout and looking forward to your ideas, your suggestions, your questions. And as we wait, I'd just like to share a little bit, and also for the YouTube recording at youtube.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, a little bit about World University and Schools' plans for online medicine. And part of this emerges out of World University and Schools seeking to offer online university degrees. So these include bachelor degrees, PhD degrees, medical degrees, and law degrees, and also potentially or conceptually international baccalaureate high school degrees, and in all 200 countries, official and main languages. So how medical degrees may well work, because MIT OpenCourseWare's 2,500 courses in English, and there are other, say, 200 to 300 courses in 4 other languages, don't have medical courses, since MIT doesn't have a medical school, or also it doesn't have, and also it doesn't have a law school, is potentially and hopefully to emerge in collaboration and in conversation with Stanford Medicine. I've met with Stanford's chair of medicine about this last year, and in the way this would work, World University and School would seek to develop some form of OpenCourseWare in all 200 countries' main and official languages, and potentially with the New England Journal of Medicine's continuing medical education modules, online CME modules, as a basis for the first 2 years of medical school online. And this would, if World University and School can facilitate this and focus this, emerge partly as a growth opportunity for Stanford Medicine to develop an online presence. There are 2 other components to this, and conceptually, and these include both Project Baseline, which is the Google Verily online project for 10,000 people, 2,000 people at Stanford Medicine, 2,000 people at Duke Medicine in North Carolina, and others, to translate some physical data samples, baseline samples, by coming physically into a medical clinic near Stanford or near Duke or other places, turn this into data, and then map a pathway to health. So brainstorming-wise, World University and School could see this Project Baseline as a potential hospital even in some years, 5, 10, 20 years, with avatar bots also. So the physical samples, stool, urine, cardio samples from running machine and similar would get translated into data for people, and these people could even emerge eventually with machine learning and artificial intelligence into avatar bots. And the other main building block conceptually is Project Echo. This is Sanjeev Arora's project. I learned of this in a Stanford Medicine Grand Rounds, I think in 2017. And in this project, they're specialists, medical specialists, MDs, can help rural populations with specific conditions and do so in a video conferencing environment, which includes a mentoring aspect. So there could be learners in this, say, a 10-person group video conference, an MD, a pharmacologist, a psychiatrist, medical students, nurses, physician's assistants, and I can see this becoming potentially even medical schools in some years because of the mentoring aspect and in defining online medicine anew. And Project Echo began with Sanjeev Arora as a gastroenterologist with a focus on the disease hepatitis C. And in reaching out to remote and rural populations, he was able to provide medical care in new ways, bringing specialists to rural populations. But a fairly recent development in the care of hepatitis C included using the drug interferon with good outcomes, but with also complications and side effects. So Sanjeev Arora and a given medical specialist needed a pharmacologist to help with the drug interferon. And because some of the side effects of this drug affect people emotionally, as I understand it, there was also a need for a psychiatrist. So all of a sudden emerges out of Project Echo's ongoing endeavors gradually, the care for at least 140 conditions, and that number is probably growing. And when I Google searched on the number of medical conditions or similar diagnoses, they number in the tens of thousands. But this would be a starting place with Project Echo because of the group mentoring aspect and the specialists to rural populations in a way that rural populations, remote populations, people wouldn't have access to specialists otherwise. So these three aspects medical courseware that might emerge out of New England Journal of Medicine's continuing medical education modules, Alphabet, Google, Verily's Project Baseline in conjunction with Stanford Medicine and Duke Medicine and other medical centers, I think, and Project Echo, specialists to rural remote populations in group video with a mentoring aspect, are all building blocks that World University and School of Medicine seeks to build on. Now, a fourth aspect would include planning-wise, and potentially out of Project Baseline, that physical samples into data as pathways to health that could eventually become avatar bots, even for something as seemingly distant at this time in history as telerobotic surgery. But a fourth aspect would be this potential for telerobotic surgery, where even robots on a Navy ship in the middle of the North Pacific could, with machine learning and AI, begin to develop a track record with telerobotic surgery, and say Stanford medicine surgeons would actually be doing the surgery from, say, Palo Alto or on a space station. And the machine learning and AI in these robots and in these systems with these hypothetical Stanford medical surgeons facilitating this would create this opportunity for telerobotic surgery. So World University and Schools seeks to add to the already multiple simulations that Stanford Medicine is working with and developing for surgery, an approach to 200 countries, nation states, and in their main languages and main for medical students there. So in Cambodia, in Cambodian, in countries in Africa, in countries in other parts of the world, potentially World University and School could translate the New England Journal of Medicine's continuing medical education modules into other languages, and from there build out medical schools and even online teaching hospitals that could emerge from Project Baseline for online clinical care, and developing and related research. And it's World University and Schools approaches to language. And a fifth aspect here would be where some of the medical school learning and the online teaching hospitals and the related online clinical care could take place. And that's in, this is the fifth aspect, a realistic virtual Earth, which could include even the possibility of telerobotic surgery eventually. So think Google Street View with time slider, and at the cellular and atomic levels, with machine learning, with artificial intelligence, with TensorFlow, AI software, and particularly with Google Translate in its more than 100 languages. Avatar bots could be in all 200 countries. They could have direct correlation with people who were in the Stanford study or the Duke study or studies out of Project Baseline in other countries. And from this would emerge these medical schools, online teaching hospitals for online clinical care, research, and also a realistic virtual Earth for medicine. So World University and School is seeking to offer its first matriculating class of online medical students about 4 years from now. So there's much time for planning here. And especially with regard to other languages in other countries, physician's assistants in combination with online medical students becoming online medical doctors, defining medicine anew, may be part of this online learning process. So that's a little bit about World University and School's online medical school plans, online medicine, and some key aspects or building blocks at this point in thinking through this. worlduniversityandschool.org, info@worlduniversityandschool.org. Look forward to being in touch again. Talk with you next Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1700 hours Universal Coordinated Time. Bye for now. Scott McLeod, worlduniversityandschool.org.